Hello all. In a lot of videos, I discuss radioactive household objects. One of my more favorite radioactive household objects is radium clocks. Now these clocks just have a little bit of radium paint painted on them, so they glow in the dark. Another object that I commonly discuss is these smoke detectors. Smoke detectors use a small piece of americium-241 as the detecting source. So you have your piece of radioactive material which sends off the alpha particles. Now alpha particles are quite weak, but they're high ionization. So when the smoke particles gets in the way of the high-powered alpha particles, it hits it, and because of the size of the alpha particles, it just gets absorbed. Now, because it gets absorbed, it's no longer being detected on the detector, which then trips the circuit, which then sets off your smoke detector. But today I have a cooler object, one less commonly known, the radioactive tape dispenser. Now, Scotch tape is great because if you pull it fast enough in a vacuum, you can actually produce X-rays and then use that for X-ray imaging. But I'm not talking about the Scotch tape here. I'm talking about the Scotch dispenser. This is a C-15 model tape dispenser, which is a retro-style tape dispenser produced from the 50s to the 80s. I couldn't get exact dates on it, but that's about around what I got. Now, tape dispensers use a ballast material so that when you pull on the tape, it stays in place. Now, this ballast material a lot of times is free-flowing, such as in the case of the C-38, which is the one that I have right here. You can hear the sand material flowing back and forth. But the C-15 tape dispenser, which are these two models right here, used a cast epoxy resin material mixed in with sand. Now, this one is radioactive and this one is not. The difference is what was cast in the epoxy. Turning this one over, we see a sand-like material, which is just regular good old sand. But if we turn this one over, we see a darker material. Now, this darker material is monazite. Monazite is a phosphate mineral. Now, it's not just a phosphate mineral because that's boring. It's a rare earth phosphate mineral. Most commonly cerium and a couple other things such as lanthanum and samarium and a few others. But my favorite element is included in that list, thorium. There's also a little bit of impure uranium mixed in there, but the thorium is the primarily radioactive isotope in here. Now, monazite is actually a very important ore for rare earth minerals, and it's also a very important ore for thorium, which is why it's mined and a lot of thorium is extracted out of it. How it ended up being used in a tape dispenser is unknown. Now, how did these tape dispensers get discovered out? Around the 70s and 80s, a technician was doing some radiological surveying in a hospital down in Alabama. Now, he realized that his tape dispenser set off the Geiger counter, and he wondered why. So it was sent to Oak Ridge to figure out what made it radioactive, and it was the ballast material, which is the monazite. Monazite also has a cool property. It's paramagnetic. Here I have the tape dispenser in a tub of water, and it's floating on top of this. This is to demonstrate the paramagnetic effect of it. Now I have it on the water because this will boost the paramagnetic effect demonstration by allowing it to move towards the magnet. Now paramagnetism is when the magnet attracts an object weakly. So here I have some really strong neodymium magnets, and I have the tape dispenser. So I bring it towards it. It'll ever so slightly start to move. Now, of course, there is metal in this tape dispenser, but I'm doing it by the back end so that the magnets don't pull onto the metal, because they will attack the metal and pull very quickly. Now, of course, you want to see how radioactive this is. So I broke out my nice Ludlum Model 3 survey meter. This is a great little detector with multiple different types of probes. I just have a pancake attached to it. Let's turn it to 0.1. Bring it up to the camera and turn on the audio so you can hear the clicks. And let me set the tape dispenser on top of it. and we can hear the fantastic radiation coming off of it. Now let's compare this tape dispenser to the other model C-15, which is not radioactive. We can see the meter starting to drop. Now, uranium and thorium are in this one too, but not in the same concentrations. Monazite is a thorium-containing ore and a uranium-containing ore. But sand, because of the natural nature of it, it contains a little bit of thorium and uranium. Now, this tape dispenser isn't all that radioactive because the uranium is natural and the thorium is natural, but also because the very long half-lives of thorium and uranium. The longer the half-life it is, the less radioactive it's really going to be. Now let's compare that to radium, which is found in these clocks. Radium has a half-life of about 1,500 years. So if we turn on the probe and we bring on the audio and bring it up, you can hear the meters sound off quite loud due to the short half-life of the radium. Now you're probably wondering, how safe is it to have a radioactive tape dispenser sitting on your desk? Well, the answer is these tape dispensers should be fine because it's a naturally occurring radioactive material and you're not in constant contact with it. Radiation follows the inverse square laws, so as long as you don't carry around your back pocket, you should be fine. The same thing goes with radium clocks, because radium clocks are self-contained, such as the tape dispenser, and as long as you have them sitting on your shelf far enough away and you don't carry them around in your back pocket, you should be good to go. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning about a random household radioactive object. This is a cool one that I found while cleaning out a closet of mine, which I just thought I should share. Now, if you're looking for one of these yourself, make sure to look at the bottom to make sure it's a dark material. And I also found that this tab right here is important because the ones that I found that are radioactive have this metal bracket and aren't just like this plastic ones, because I think these are much newer than these old style ones.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told uranium ore's worth more than gold. Sold my cad, I bought me a Jeep, I got that bug and I can't sleep. Uranium fever has gone and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around.